Darn, it feels good to be a gangster, especially when there's absolutely no real-life consequences. Hey, it's Game Rant, and here are the 5 best open-world games where you play as a gangster. Number 5. Mafia II. The Mafia games could best be described as inconsistent, either leaning too hard into their story or gameplay, never quite finding the right balance. Not so with Mafia II. Sure, its open world was essentially a stage to be traveled rather than interacted with, but this also kept the general features snugly together. The gunplay is some of the sharpest of the generation, with brutal shootouts punctuating the story of Vito, a man lost in a world of endless violence and retaliation that will consume everyone he knows and loves. But this simply makes the next bombastic action scene all the more cathartic. Best in the series? Yeah, best in the series. Number 4. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. The 1990s gangster rap scene left an indelible mark on pulp culture history, not only in music but fashion and entertainment as well. Encapsulating that time and place would be laughable to most game developers, but most game developers are not Rockstar Games. In fact, San Andreas so successfully borrowed from films such as Boys in the Hood and Menace to Society, it retroactively feels a part of a scene it's paying homage to. Grove Street. All you had to do was follow the train. Big Smoke's order. Here we go again. These memes have become just as much a part of pop culture history as they are games history. And also, the fact this game snuck out some adult-only content does make it a bit of a rule breaker. Number 3. Sleeping Dogs. It's no fun talking about Sleeping Dogs. Oh sure, it's one of the best open-world games ever. Just ever. Combining Arkham Batman-style combat with over-the-top violence, shooting and driving, and a compelling Hong Kong story of an undercover cop lifted straight from Internal Affairs. Okay, so what's the problem? Well, it apparently didn't sell enough, and United Front Games was shuttered shortly thereafter in the process of producing a spin-off, which goes to show that even if you do everything right, you can still get taken down, which, you know, is kind of gangster too if you think about it. Number 2. Yakuza Zero. These days, the Yakuza series has successfully rebranded itself in the West to its Japanese name, Like a Dragon. And really, that name is more appropriate, given the fact that you are rarely, if ever, playing as an active Yakuza. Yes, Kazuma Kiryu might be respected by the Yakuza, but he's usually in the process of being thrown out, which is supposedly a fate worse than death, but he seems to be making the most of it, hanging out in the arcade and even breaking down a real estate conspiracy shortly before the burst of the yen bubble. Majima's here too, and few others are as deserving of the title Gangster, but even he's technically a civilian in this prequel, but also technically he will be a gangster in the future, so we're gonna give him a pass. Besides, who's gonna tell Majima he's not gangster? Number 1. Saints Row III. Okay, stop. Have you ever played Saints Row III? Not Saints Row 1, not Saints Row 2, not Saints Row 4, or Get Out of Hell, or that strange reboot. We're talking about Saints Row III. Because if you haven't, you need to rectify that. While the previous games were crude GTA clones, and the latter were zany open-world action games, Saints Row III starts with the ridiculous premise of a street gang becoming a corporation and only gets weirder from there. But unlike the later games, which threw each and every idea at once just to get a giggle, Saints Row III knows just how to recede back into stock video game tropes, before smacking the player upside the head with something so inappropriate your controller may be sent flying. Saints Row III gives players supreme power, but also an army of finger-waving soldiers ready to be annihilated, making it the very best in the whole series. But now we want to hear from you. Who is your favorite video game gangster? Does Nico from GTA 4 count? Because he's absolutely one of our favorites. Let us know in the comments below, and we'll be sure to read your answers. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this video, but keep clicking around here on Game Rant, and we'll see you next time.